Good morning, Fighting Irish fans. Today, the 94th edition of the Blue and Gold game. I think there are a lot of questions that we have revolving around this game, revolving around what we're going to see from the Fighting Irish as we go into the fall and as we go into the summer, specifically, and continue our practice regimen. The big question mark, the quarterback battle. Who's going to win that battle ultimately? Will it be Steve Angeli? Will it be Kenny Minchie? Or will it be CJ Carr? I think some of those questions are going to be answered today. I don't think we're going to walk out of here with a clear, definitive answer from the coaches, but I think as a group, we will have a better understanding of who's ready to start and be QB1 and who is going to be potentially a backup going into the rest of the season. A little bit of a special scoring situation for today's game. Today's game is offense versus defense. So blue or gold, one will start on offense. They'll stay on offense the whole time. The other side will be defense the whole time. In order to make the scoring work for that, they had to set up some special defensive scoring, and in doing so, they also set up some special offensive scoring. So for the offense will get a point for every first down. They'll also get 2 points for every play over 20 yards. Everything else stays the same for the offense. On the defensive side, 1 point for forcing a punt, 5 points for a takeaway in plus territory, 7 for a takeaway in minus territory, 12 points for a defensive score, 1 point for a tackle for loss, 2 points for a sack, 3 points for blocking a field goal attempt, 2 points for a PAT return for a score. That's normal. 2 points for a failed 2-point conversion. That's not normal. 2 points for a fourth down stop in plus territory or a missed field goal, and 3 points for a fourth down stop in minus territory. It's going to be kind of interesting. Honestly, my guess, even heading into this, is that the defense is going to win. There are a lot of question marks still on the defense, but we do know that players like Leonard Moore, Drake Bowen, probably Adon Schuler, are going to start. We can also expect to see Kingston Valamuasa, KVA. We'll see him, start going into this season. But there are players behind them that are good who are going to have the opportunity to showcase skills today, and I think we'll be able to answer some questions around those things as well. Now, the offense is where we've got a lot more question marks, and with a very banged up offensive line going into today's spring game, I see the second string and third string O-line playing most of this game, and it's going to have an impact on the turnout of this game, right? We're going to see our quarterbacks under pressure. We're going to see a group of rather inexperienced quarterbacks at this level having to make decisions under pressure and on the fly. That's good for understanding what our quarterback room is going to look like. Now, my big hope is that all three quarterbacks will perform well and that we'll see quarterbacks making decisions based on who they are and not based on who they think they want the coaching staff or who they think they want the coaching staff, for them to be. That's going to be the key for any of those three quarterbacks moving into this. Now, my projection and I've been saying basically since the season ended, since just after the national championship game, when they decided that they weren't bringing somebody in, that Steve Angeli is going to win the quarterback battle. I've gotten a lot of hate for that, and that's fine, honestly. Like, everybody's entitled to an opinion on this quarterback situation. Do I think CJ Carr is eventually our starter? I do. Is it this season? Maybe so. Is it next season? I think far more likely. But Steve Angeli has earned the right to be our quarterback. And I think one of the things that we're really going to see in this game is based on the amount of play each quarterback gets in the course of this scrimmage, we're going to understand a little bit better as to what the coaches are thinking going forward. The other thing that I'm really excited to see going into this game is our wide receiver room. Like, we've seen our wide receivers started to show out towards the end of last season. I think we're going to continue to see a little bit more of that today. Do turnovers kind of cost the offense playing against this really good defense, I think that's a distinct possibility. And Jeremiah Love's not going to play today. He's got a hamstring injury. Probably wouldn't have played anyway because they want to keep him healthy. So as we move into today's practice, we'll get to see opportunities from all the backup running backs. That being said, offensive production is going to be a little bit more limited, simply because of the fact that we don't have our key players in there, both on the offensive line and at the running back position. So overall, I think the defense wins the day. That's it's probably not shocking news to anybody if you look at this point system. One defensive score is 12 points. So I mean, they could rack up with takeaways and defensive scores. They could rack up 19 points on one play. Takeaway and minus territory for a touchdown. Pick six for a touchdown. That'd be huge, right? So versus the offense, they're just very limited as to what they can do. I think what everybody ought to be excited for going into this game is just seeing what people can do. I do think Drake Bowen's going to be back there on the defense, sort of captaining and running that defensive backfield. I think he's the expectation going into this season is that Bowen is going to be a captain and that he needs to be someone who can take care of business back there and really command that defense and make that defense run well. All right, that's all I've got today. I'm not even going to try to put together a final score for this game. Go out, have fun, be excited. There will be a lot more to talk about after this game is over. And as always, keep looking up. God bless. Go Irish.